Welcome to Golden Flame Stars. In today's video, we're diving into the wild, chaotic world of heavy metal legends. In this scene, chaos isn't just a side effect, it's a way of life. From Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat to Lemmy Kilmister living on whiskey and speed, some stars pushed their limits so far they became legends of excess and survival. From shocking stunts to near-death experiences, these musicians lived, and nearly died, for rock and roll. Here are the wildest junkies in heavy metal history. Motley Crue's bassist Nicky Sixx partied so hard his body completely shut down, and then came back. After overdosing in 1987, his heart stopped for 2 minutes before a medic injected adrenaline straight into it. Miraculously revived, Nicky pulled out his hospital tubes and went home to keep partying. He faced the edge and didn't even flinch. As Guns N' Roses drummer, Steven Adler had the rhythm of a superstar, but behind the drums, he was deeply caught in heavy substance use and constant partying. His growing dependence began to affect his playing, leading to his removal from the band. Years later, he found his way back, turning survival into his greatest encore. As Metallica's original guitarist, Dave Mustaine was brilliant, but consumed by anger, alcohol, and heavy substance use. His behavior grew so unpredictable that the band sent him home just before their first album. Fueled by resentment, he formed Megadeth and built his revenge into success. Dave's journey shows how talent can survive even the darkest self-destruction, if you learn to take control. Alice in Chains' haunting frontman, Lane Staley, sang of pain and lived it. Consumed by heavy substance struggles, he slowly withdrew from the world, living in deep isolation in his Seattle home. His once powerful voice went silent in 2002, marking the loss of a true talent. Lane's story remains a haunting reminder of brilliance lost to darkness. Motley Crue's golden-haired frontman lived fast, drinking heavily, partying non-stop, and chasing every thrill fame could offer. His love for speed and alcohol caught up with him in 1984 when a drunken drive ended in a tragic crash that claimed his friend's life. It was the moment when the party turned into heartbreak. James Hetfield's heavy drinking once made Alcoholica a cruel joke for Metallica. By 2001, his struggles forced him to leave mid-tour for treatment. It nearly broke the band, but also saved his life. James returned stronger, openly discussing his recovery, a reminder that facing weakness can be the most powerful act of strength. In the late 90s, Marilyn Manson was the world's most feared and fascinating rock star. His makeup, bizarre costumes, and shocking performances made him a global controversy. Behind the scenes, Manson lived a non-stop party fueled by absinthe and excess. His dark persona blurred with reality, later surfacing through disturbing real-life stories. Guns N' Roses' iconic guitarist Slash lived exactly like he played, loud and relentless. His love of whiskey and constant indulgence pushed his body to the brink. Doctors warned his heart was failing, forcing him to get a defibrillator implanted to stay alive. Miraculously, Slash recovered, cleaned up, and kept shredding with legendary fire. Ozzy Osbourne, the madman of metal, lived fast and wild, caught in years of heavy indulgence with alcohol and dangerous habits. His chaotic lifestyle nearly destroyed him, yet somehow he survived and learned from it. Ozzy stands as proof that no matter how far you fall, change is possible if you face the storm within. Slayer's guitarist Jeff Hanneman was a thrash pioneer whose ferocious riffs defined a generation. But years of heavy drinking slowly damaged his liver. After battling illness and a serious infection from a spider bite, his body couldn't recover. In 2013, Jeff's passing marked a tragic loss and the end of an era in metal. Korn's frontman Jonathan Davis turned his childhood pain into raw, emotional art. But behind the success, he drowned himself in chaos. Years of partying and heavy indulgence that nearly broke him. After losing a close friend, he finally changed direction, focusing on his health and music. Jonathan channeled his pain into the haunting sound that defined Korn. For decades, Lemmy Kilmister was fueled by loud music, late nights, and endless glasses of whiskey. His devotion to that lifestyle became both his image and his burden. Though his body struggled to keep up, his spirit never slowed down. Lemmy's story reminds us that even legends aren't built to last without balance and care. As the bassist of Guns N' Roses, Duff McKagan lived the full rockstar dream, fast, loud, and reckless. Years of heavy drinking and wild living took a serious toll on his body, nearly ending his career. After a major health scare, Duff turned his life around, proving that survival can be louder than chaos itself. Painkillers and heavy substance use nearly destroyed Phil Anselmo at Pantera's peak. In 1996, he suffered a serious medical emergency that stopped his heart for 5 minutes before medics revived him. Though he survived, the damage to his health, band unity, and reputation was lasting. Phil's collapse proved that even the strongest voices can fall silent when ego meets excess. Seth Putnam, frontman of Anal Cunt, became infamous for pushing every boundary imaginable. His shows were chaotic explosions of rage and reckless energy. In 2004, he fell into a coma after a heavy binge, but miraculously woke up. Still, he refused to slow down, continuing his destructive path until his final collapse in 2011. Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist, Zakk Wylde, matched his mentor's wild energy drink for drink. Known for consuming massive amounts of beer, he built a Viking-like image of strength and chaos. But in 2009, severe blood clots nearly ended his life. Forced to stop drinking, Zakk recovered and continues to play as one of metal's true warriors. Sepultura's founder Max Cavalera brought Brazilian fury to global metal. But tragedy struck in 1996 when his stepson, Dana Wells, passed away suddenly. The grief tore his family and band apart, fueling deep emotional chaos and the eventual split of Sepultura. Max rose again with Soulfly, though the scars of loss and turmoil never fully healed. Korn guitarist Brian Head Welch lived the ultimate rock fantasy and nightmare. Caught in the grip of heavy substance use, he felt empty despite fame and fortune. In 2005, he shocked fans by quitting Korn and turning to faith. Years later, he returned balanced and grounded, proving redemption can exist even in the darkest corners of metal. El Duce, the unhinged leader of the Mentors, lived every second like a dare to fate. Constantly intoxicated, broke, and unapologetically offensive, he embodied chaos itself. His troubled lifestyle was captured in the god-awful truth of El Duce. Days after filming ended, he was found lifeless on train tracks, his wild journey reaching its tragic close. Brian May, born July 19th, 1947, iconic guitarist of Queen. Beyond depression and health scares, he survived a heart attack and emergency surgery in later years. Now 78, despite aging challenges, May still tours and advocates for animal rights, embodying survival, intellect, and lasting rock spirit. Steven Tyler, born March 26, 1948, legendary frontman of Aerosmith. Decades of drug abuse nearly destroyed his voice and career, yet he fought back through rehab. Now 77, despite health struggles and aging, Tyler remains a flamboyant icon of resilience and rock stardom. Patti Smith, born December 30th, 1946, the godmother of punk. She overcame loss, illness, and the temptations of drugs while carving her poetic rock path. Now 78, she remains a fearless performer, blending resilience, artistry, and survival into an unmatched rock legacy. Eric Clapton, born March 30th, 1945, guitar god of rock and blues. Haunted by heroin and alcohol addiction, he nearly lost everything before recovery. Now 80, coping with neuropathy and age-related health issues, Clapton continues to perform, a survivor whose music still inspires millions. Elton John, born March 25, 1947, flamboyant piano rock legend. He survived decades of cocaine, alcohol, and bulimia, narrowly escaping self-destruction. Now 78, happily retired from touring, Elton embodies triumph over addiction, his music and life a beacon of resilience and hope. Paul Stanley, born January 20th, 1952, co-founder and voice of Kiss. He faced congenital ear deformities, surgeries, and decades of the rock lifestyle. Now 73, still performing in full makeup, Stanley embodies resilience, turning personal struggles into an enduring legacy of rock anthems. Phil Collins, born January 30th, 1951, famed singer and drummer of Genesis. Years of alcohol abuse damaged his health, leaving him battling nerve problems and frailty. Now 74, performing only seated, Collins remains a survivor, his voice and music still touching millions worldwide. Iggy Pop, born April 21st, 1947, the wild godfather of punk. His life spiraled through heroin addiction, overdoses, and countless onstage injuries. Defying all odds, at 78 he's still performing shirtless with raw energy, living proof that chaos and survival can define true rock legend. Keith Richards, born December 18th, 1943, legendary guitarist of the Rolling Stones. For decades, he drowned in drugs and alcohol, surviving multiple overdoses. He crashed cars while driving drunk and was arrested several times for narcotics. Now 81, despite arthritis and aging, Richards remains a living rock and roll icon. Pete Townshend, born May 19th, 1945, iconic guitarist of The Who. Long struggles with drugs, alcohol, and hearing loss nearly derailed his career. Now 80, despite aging and health issues, Townshend continues to perform, his songwriting legacy proving resilience fuels true rock endurance. Debbie Harry, born July 1st, 1945, iconic frontwoman of Blondie. She endured heroin addiction and personal struggles during her rise in punk and new wave. Now 80, clean and creative, Harry continues to perform, proving resilience and style can outshine even the darkest battles. Bruce Springsteen, born September 23, 1949, the boss of rock. He battled lifelong depression and burnout despite worldwide fame and relentless touring. Now 75, still selling out stadiums, Springsteen proves endurance, honesty, and survival define one of rock's most human legends. Chrissie Hynde, born September 7, 1951, founder of The Pretenders. Her life was scarred by substance abuse and the tragic deaths of bandmates from drugs. Now 73, she's sober, still touring with raw defiance, embodying survival and the enduring spirit of rock rebellion. Alice Cooper, born February 4, 1948, master of shock rock. Drowned in alcoholism during the 1970s, he nearly drank himself to death before entering recovery. Now 77, he balances golf with touring, still thriving as one of rock's most theatrical survivors and enduring stage performers. Stevie Nicks, born May 26, 1948, legendary voice of Fleetwood Mac. She nearly lost her health to cocaine addiction, heart strain, and tranquilizers in the 1980s. Now 77, sober and thriving, Nicks remains the mystical queen of rock, still enchanting audiences worldwide. Her resilience shows that overcoming addiction and recovery not only restores life, but can also reignite art. Roger Daltrey, born March 1, 1944, legendary frontman of The Who. He endured years of substance abuse and later serious vocal cord damage. Now 81, still performing with remarkable energy, Daltrey stands as proof that survival and passion can keep rock voices alive. Gene Simmons, born August 25, 1949, fire-breathing bassist of Kiss. He wrestled with excesses of fame, from relentless touring to substance temptations. Now 76, still strong on stage, Simmons proves longevity comes from discipline, survival, and an unshakable love for rock spectacle. Rod Stewart, born January 10, 1945, raspy-voiced rock superstar. Excessive drinking and drug use once haunted him, later followed by thyroid cancer surgery. Now 80, still singing with vigor, Stewart remains one of rock's most charismatic survivors. His journey reminds us that discipline and resilience are key to both survival and lasting success. And Wilson, born June 19, 1950, powerhouse singer of Heart. Years of alcohol and chain smoking strained her health, forcing her to fight for recovery. Now 75, she still performs with soaring vocals, proving resilience and passion can keep a rock voice timeless. Billy Idol, born November 30, 1955, punk-influenced rock rebel. He nearly died in a 1990 motorcycle crash after years of drug excess. Now 69, still touring with signature sneer and energy, Idol embodies resilience and the wild survival spirit of rock and roll. The world of heavy metal has always lived on the edge, loud, fearless, and unapologetic. From Ozzy Osbourne's legendary Chaos to Slash's unstoppable energy, from James Hetfield's Redemption to Marilyn Manson's controversial rise, these icons showed us that fame and freedom can come with a heavy price. They burned bright, they stumbled, and some barely made it through the fire. But behind the noise and rebellion lies a deeper truth. Even the strongest stars can lose themselves when the spotlight never fades. Heavy metal isn't just about power and volume. It's about survival, honesty, and the courage to face your demons. Some found their way back. Others became cautionary tales etched in rock history forever. Their stories remind us that the line between greatness and self-destruction is razor thin. Talent can take you to the top, but wisdom keeps you there. So crank up the volume, celebrate their music, and remember the lesson every rocker learns the hard way. Live loud, but live smart. Thanks for watching Golden Flame Stars, where we celebrate the legends who lived louder than life itself.